How are you?
Hi.
This is my mom. Hi, everybody. Today is the book day. We both have copies. I'm not sure why we have two copies, but we both have copies because we're so excited. Excuse me, I have a cough. So welcome to my mom's house. This is the house I grew up in from the time I was about 8 years old. And I'm just so excited to have my mom here today. We're going to talk about all the things. I was telling her earlier that I was going to tell you guys, booking her was like booking the first, like the Queen of England or something. Are you already crying? Stop! Okay, this might be emotional today. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, we can do hard things.
I'm so proud.
I didn't think we were going to start off this way. Oh my gosh. Well, let me first tell you that this book means so much to me because I'm going to do it. Because I was raised in a family that has so much love, and growing up, my mom and dad did things to make sure our lives ran smoothly and felt very like effortless on the back end. And when I became a grown up, I remember calling my mom and being like, I don't understand. You have to pay for toilet paper. What do you mean? And like, Mom, this whole like momming thing is hard. And these kids, they want me to feed them 3 times a day. And like, why was it so easy for you? And it wasn't easy, right?
It wasn't easy.
So my mom was a teacher for for 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
38 years. And so she was a working mom of 2 kids and a wife, now at 40 years. My dad's managing kids upstairs with my sister-in-law. But when my publisher and I started talking about what comes after Grace Not Perfection, like what book comes after that, they were like, what if you write a book about what it means to really simplify your life? And at the time, Grace Not Perfection was not out yet. And I was like, I don't know, because my life feels really, really, really overwhelming right now. Like, everything feels overwhelming. Everything feels heavy. Everything just feels like I can't get my head above water. And so I made a lot of changes in my life to get rid of clutter. And that's like the big thing that my mom taught me about like managing your home, but more so like, why is that important? Why is it important to get rid of clutter in your life? Not just physical clutter, but like schedule clutter and mental clutter, because the connections you have with your family and the memories you make with your families, no matter the size of your family, whether you have kids or not, that stuff matters, especially in a world where there's so much else going on in the outside world that like, I don't even know how to explain to my kids. I know that when they come home, I want them to feel the way I feel when I come home. This is where I was raised. And so I want them to have had such special memories in our homes, they want to come home when they're older. And so I'm excited for you to meet the original, the OG here. Nana's the original. And Nana, like I said, I dedicated this book to my mom because she's my biggest fan, my hero, my best friend, but she taught me how it's done. And you continue to teach me that, Mom, like even with your amazing laundry trip, which we'll talk about in a minute. So all those things that my mom taught me, things that I've learned along the way in 10 areas of life that feel really, really overwhelming, are in A Simplified Life. And so I begged Nana for like, it took me as long to write the book as it did to get Nana to agree to do this.
This isn't my thing. This is.
And so I'm glad you're here, Mom. So
Thanks.
I have my notes on my phone, so we're just gonna do it like that. Okay, so I introduced you to Nana. That's Nana. Taylor, my sister-in-law, who is awesome and is married to my brother, is gonna join us in a little while. It's just my brother and I. So my mom and dad had 2 kids, me and Brett. He's 4 years younger than me, and he's married to Taylor, and she's upstairs. Okay, so let's just start off, Mom. Let's talk about like, remember the days, like the crazy hard days when you were working full time. Yeah. My kids are here and now it's hard days. Holy cow. Why is it when you travel with kids, they just lose all their bearings? Like they come completely unglued. Oh. Okay, so Nana, I grabbed questions from Instagram and Facebook, and one question I kept seeing over and over again was like, how did you teach this to me? Like, how did you make simplifying and organizing and keeping a home that's like simple, how did you make that a priority?
You're not born knowing how to do this.
Fact.
So somebody's got to teach you.
That's true.
So what we did was we went, we made it a big deal a couple of times a year to clean out the rooms.
I would get lunchbox notes about like,
Yeah.
Saturday's the day, we're going to clean out your room.
Now, I'm talking elementary school right now.
Okay, yeah.
It totally changes in middle school and high school, and then finally they get out on their own. That's another story. And I just have to say up front, you saw the soft, teary-eyed side of me, but in a minute,
She's going to tell you how it
I'm
is.
going to tell you, and I mean it in the nicest way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's important is you make it a big deal, and you don't clean out just a little bit of it. You got to show them how to do the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a real advantage right now. You can show them a picture of hoarders, or you can show it to them on TV and say, this is where you're headed if we don't clean out this junk.
Right.
So another thing, when they're in elementary school, perfect time to do it is right before Christmas. Santa's bringing those new toys, and we could donate these to little boys and girls that, you know, might not get very many toys.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to give away to make room for?
And oh my gosh, that's so hard to teach kids. But like once they get it, they're like connected to it.
And they may need to see it, you know, you may just need to find an opportunity for them to see what they're doing. But we would make it a big deal. We'd have little treats along the way to keep us motivated that day. It would take an entire day usually in one child's room, and we would go I don't know where we'd start.
The drawers
under
the bed. I still remember.
Every inch of that room was touched. Every inch.
And that's a big important tip too. Like when you're cleaning something out, you have to touch every single thing. Like you take it all out, right? Take it all out first. So
you're not cleaning anything. No. Cleaning comes way down the line.
Way down the line.
That's what you do in between these decluttering.
Right.
Christmas, end of school year, when they come home with all those papers. Those are two opportune times, you know, getting back to school, getting a fresh start, get that room cleaned up so you can, you know, work and study and do all those things you need to do in there. It doesn't have to be done every month. It's gonna get messy.
Did you see? I think you showed me this. Joanna Gaines showed a picture of one of her boys' rooms, and it was like a disaster.
It was.
You would think Joanna Gaines' kids were like had perfectly clean rooms, and it was crazy. And I was like, you just made me feel more normal.
That's the thing about if you're gonna try to do this. That's the bad news. It takes you a long time to declutter. Don't even think about cleaning anything. Don't teach your kids how to clean until you get the junk out, because it's hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy all, you know, I saw somebody on one of the comments say, where's my favorite place to go and get containers and boxes?
The closet.
I find what's here. Now I did go to the container store with
and
Emily.
the whole time she was like,
don't need this.
You don't need that.
Don't need this. It's just more clutter.
Right. Oh, that's so funny.
No, but I got to tell you something else though too. There's a difference between boys' rooms and girls' rooms. With her brother, and I always had a little bit of competition going between the two of them. But with her brother, it was, you know, we've done Emily's room. Now we're going to make your room look like this. And for him, it would be like, race under the bed and bring out 10 things, or, you know, show me just work on this end of the bed, under the bedding. Because when you say go in there and clean up your room, what are they going to do? Shove it under the bed, shove it in the closet, shove it in the drawers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
faster.
I saw somebody ask, how was it different working with Brett versus working with me? Like, was it easier to teach me? Like, I didn't always love to clean things out.
It was easier to work with Brett at first. Now, I will say in middle school and high school, no. But at the beginning it was, because you make it, you know, I want to see how high you can climb to get that off the shelf. Let's see if you can, you know, throw that in the box. Make it sport, you know, just.
Well, it's like little wins along the way rather than trying to eat the elephant one whole bite at a time. You know,
but we ate the whole room that day. And, you know, when you walk back in that room, they walk back in, sometimes we would get new comforters or
like rearrange it a little bit.
Yeah.
To make it feel fresh. And like we
all
love
up
that.
things, oh, look, you don't need this anymore.
You're a big girl.
You're a big girl now.
I said that to Caroline the other day and she goes, no, I'm a baby. I'm a baby. Okay, so our lives, so I'm going to introduce you guys to my sister-in-law in a little while. And my mom and me and her, we're all at different seasons. And Taylor and Brett are married without kids yet. And we have 3 crazy kids. And Taylor's a teacher. My mom was a teacher and now is retired. So like all of our lives look really different, but we all value similar things. And so my job now with young kids is demanding but flexible. You didn't have that same flexibility as a teacher. Mm-mm. So like, how did you balance life as a working mom?
I think when I was at teaching, I love teaching. I absolutely loved it. I did it for 38 years. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't have done it that long. So many people ask me, how did you stay so long? Every year is a fresh year. Every year is something new. Yeah. And I had so much organization in that classroom. I taught those kids how to be organized. Mm-hmm. You had to have your desk set up a certain way, and they love it. Kids love to feel in control of their environment. So I would give 110% there. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. We won't get into this testing and all that came later. That's a different story. But and then my kids went to elementary school with me. So they were in the car with me. They were in my classroom with me in the afternoons and in the morning. It was tough. I mean, it was.
You were with kids all the time.
Yes, and they always got in my drink and drank my drink. I could have water on. They could have their own bottles of water.
I still get in trouble for that.
She still does.
Get out of my drink.
But so, I would give 110% there. But when I left there, I was finished. Mm-hmm. I have those kids for 1 year. I have these 2 forever. So when I came home, that I had a 30-minute drive. They usually fell asleep.
Really?
And then some days they argued all the way home, but whatever. And then we just kind of all went to our separate corners, and took a few minutes.
Yeah.
Unwind. And then
you took days off, like
full
days.
Okay. I only used the days I was given, but when I retired, I didn't have any days left. I had to have some sanity days. So when I was getting ready for Christmas, we would take 2 days off. Mm-hmm. My husband would take 2 days off. I'd make him go do the shopping with me so that he didn't say, why are we spending so much money? Back then, when he walked those malls and those toy stores and things, and he would say, just get it. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
But anyway, we would, what were we talking about?
You would take like the whole.
Yeah, I would take the days, a day off, and I would, do, now we decorated together, but I would do all the shopping and the wrapping on that day. And that I had to wrap without them being here. So sometimes I would just take days just to get organized at home. Mm-hmm. Not often. I wasn't, I only had 10 days a year.
Sometimes you need that like.
But it was important for me to have that organized home so this would run efficiently, this family. Somebody asked in a comment, how do you keep the kitchen table clean? We ate at that kitchen table every night as a family, every single night.
Every night.
So I had to clean.
I still like, so I had a lot of like mom guilt when my kids, the twins were really small because they're rambunctious and loud, and like I had big dreams of like, we'll sit at the round kitchen table just like my parents did, and it'll be awesome, and we'll all sit quietly. And like with 2 toddlers, it's almost impossible. And so at this point in our lives, we eat dinner typically at our bar in our kitchen. And I had this like mom guilt of like, my mom did it with us. She was able to do it. Why can't I make them all sit quietly at the kitchen table and be happy and eat their food? And like, they all sit at the bar.
You weren't always happy at the kitchen table, but you sat there.
Brian and I stand up usually so we can manage them while they eat. But we have that time together, and that's what it's about. It's not checking the box of we sat at the table. It's that we're having dinner together, and it's a little hectic because they're a little wild, but like we did it,
But now when they come here, they all sit at the dining room table. Now, it's a disaster.
Poor Tyler and Caroline. They get a bad rap.
Well, they're two.
They're two. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to talk about my favorite topic. Now you guys are going to get, I need like theme music. Dun, dun, dun. Nana is going to talk to us about organizing your home and about clutter in general in your house.
I want nothing more but for you to have that feeling of coming in and saying, wow,
Feels good.
looks good, feels good.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter how big a house you have. If you have a big house, if you're gonna, have a lot of clutter, you just go out and buy a lot of clutter.
Yeah.
You ever been in Target or Home Goods or somewhere? You go, oh, I love this.
I need it.
I need it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I need it.
Yes.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You
Nope.
probably got something at home. It's like Emily said in her book. She says, only display the things that are meaningful for you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to Home Goods and buy now you have to have some things, but within reason. Don't buy 20. But there's not a tip, a trick, or a mouse tool that I can give you to help you get organized until you get rid of the stuff.
Yep. Nana can come to my house and she'll walk in the front door and she'll go, you have Tupperware without lids.
We
We'll
get
go look.
Tupperware bad, and it's not Tupperware. It's the containers.
The containers and the things. And like, she'll open my kitchen cabinets and go, do you know you have 3 carrot peelers? How often do you peel carrots, number one? And number two, why do you need 3? Do you have 3 hands? Or are you doing it all at the same time?
I watched a food blogger the other day showing all her cabinets and everything, and she opened up the drawers and there were like 10 whisks and 42 knives. I'm thinking, there are more people in that kitchen than just you if you need 42 knives and 32 spatulas. But for me, if I was going to find a place to start, it'd have to be my kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unlike some of us, I love to cook. I love to chop. I love to make, find new recipes and try things. I've always been that way.
I'm really good at Uber Eats. Like, I'm the best Uber Eats cook there is.
Yeah. But
That DNA did pass me by.
Now, there were times when they were at home and we'd have, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But
McDonald's. Not naming any names here, but.
Yeah. We did. I mean, when you're going to dance and he's going to swimming and whatever.
Yeah.
My husband was very involved too.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to get them on board. But there's nothing, you don't even want to think about cleaning until you get rid of the stuff. For me, starting in my kitchen is the place to go. Open up a drawer where you keep your things by your stove top and keep those big bulky items like the ladles and the spoons. You buy a set of wooden spoons. They come with 5 or 6. How many do you need? 1.
Yeah, I got my wooden spoons got given away recently.
There's no way you use them all at one time. You've got other
true.
big, I'm saying you've got the other big spoons too.
Yeah.
You don't need all those gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to open up that drawer where you keep things. Like I have things with, like a microplane and a spatula, but I don't have 15 of them.
Right.
I have 2.
Right.
2's enough.
Yep.
And besides that, you got a sink right there. You can rinse it off and use it for something else if it gets dirty.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. It's like I'm gonna out my husband here. We were talking about underwear the other day.
This is good. This is good.
And Brian, I'm just gonna go there. Brian was talking about how he found these awesome boxer brief underwear. Brian wears boxer briefs. I just said that. And he was like, I love them. I bought 10. I'm gonna buy 10 more. And I was like, because you change your clothes 4 times a day? Why do you need 20 pair of underwear? And he was like, because I love them. And I said, first of all, we do laundry every day. Not that you need just 1 pair, but
we'll talk about that. There's different ways to do that.
This is true. And I was like, I think you're good with what you got. But now that you have these that you love, get rid of the old ones. You don't need them anymore. So, and Ryan and I are not the same. He's not into organizing and decluttering as much as I am, but
he appreciates it.
He definitely does. And he's found the value in it as well. I remember when we got married, he was like, I never had a bedroom I really loved to fall asleep in until we got married, and you kind of made it cozy. And I was like, what?
And when she got married, he said, No, we're not changing anything. I have a brown house, a brown dog, brown furniture. We're done.
We're done. All things.
Brown.
And, yeah, and it was merging our stuff together because we both owned houses at that point. It was like you had to go in and say, which one's your favorite ice cream scoop? Get rid of the rest of them. Which one's your favorite? So that's what you do. Like as you declutter things in your kitchen, you take everything out. If we're talking about the kitchen, you take everything out of a particular area or whatever, and you set it all out and you say, okay, I've got 4 carrot peelers and 3 ice cream scoops and 2 spatulas. Like, let's pick the best of the best and get rid of the rest of it. And what's cool is the feeling you have when you open that drawer and you're like, all I see is the best, my favorite, and the necessary. Mm-hmm. There's no extra, there's no anything, there's no weird emotional like, oh, someone gave that to me and I should keep it. And like,
oh, I bought this, it cost me $20. Well,
forgive yourself for spending that money and get rid of it.
Somebody else can use it. Don't throw it away. Somebody else can use it.
I saw somebody ask that question. Like, what do you do with it? No.
Donate it.
Donate it.
And when I'll tell you a story about Emily when she was little.
Oh, good.
But I taught at a magnet school, and it was a performing arts school. And both of them went there. And it was fantastic school. But at the beginning, there were a lot of low-risk kids there. We were building the magnet program. And
high risk? High risk kids? Low risk kids?
Well, low.
Depending how you look at it.
It just depends. But anyway, and of course we had custodians that would work there. And they would just always be so appreciative of, things that I might bring them and saying, and I did it in the nicest way. It's like, I was getting rid of some things and I was wondering if you could use anything. Just pick out what you'd like to have. Mm-hmm. I'm talking, with the custodians or whatever. Well, one particular year, Emily was particularly interested in this one lady, older lady. That
I think I heard this story in Grace Not Perfection, I think.
And she would always come in and she just loved Emily. She's like her little old grandma. And she would come in and she would just talk to her and everything. Well, Emily asked, you're going to have to tell the story. I'm going to cry. She asked about her Thanksgiving. And for some reason, they weren't going to have a Thanksgiving, or
they weren't going to have
the turkey. And
she was so polite. And I think I was like 8 years old. She was like, we're not going to do that this year. We're not going to really have a turkey. It's been a hard year.
So Emily took her allowance and I gave her some money with it. We went to the store. We bought her a turkey.
I'll never forget that.
You would have thought she gave her $1 million.
I'll never forget that. She was speechless. And that, like,
to this day, it wasn't like maybe when you first started your business, she somehow saw her and she made the connection and she said hello to her, somehow through me or whatever. But she had somebody let us know that, she saw her and she still remembers.
It's just funny. Like even with just getting rid of things in your house that can go to someone that could use it, like we give a lot of ours to Salvation Army and Goodwill and places like that. But like when your kids are actually involved, when your kids are involved in the choosing and the selecting and the
when there's fires in your city, those people lose everything.
Yeah.
Don't give them junk, but give them those things that, but I think we're going to go back to where we were, where I would start if it was my house, and where I want to start decluttering is back in that kitchen.
Yeah.
When I walk in that kitchen and the counters are clean and the sink is empty.
You should show them your kitchen.
I don't think Pop-Pop was in there earlier. Breakfast for everybody.
Yeah, you don't really know.
It's crazy around here this morning, but it might be. But those, we'll take pictures, and they won't be staged. We'll take pictures of some drawers, and she can put them on Instagram, whatever. But it's just the best feeling. You wake up in the morning and you go in there to make yourself a cup of coffee or, whatever.
And everything's right there.
Everything is clean, unless you have teenagers. And then they stay up late, and then they put those glasses or those bowls in the sink if they brought them out of their room.
Oh, man.
But that's where I would start. Decluttering.
Right.
And get that room finished first. Because that's where you spend a lot of your time.
It's central. Yeah.
The place you want to, believe it or not, for me, would be the bedroom. Because that takes a lot of time to get rid of those clothes.
When I did this in January, I took a week. Luxury of the job, by the way. Like I was like,
and I did that in the summer.
Book research here. So I took a whole week during the hours the kids were at school and decluttered like our entire house. And I remember Brian being like, "Are you sure you want to embark on this?" And I was like, "No, I want to do it for the book. I want to like figure out like the emotions I deal with as I go through it, but also like I just want this. I want my life to feel simpler." And so I started with our master closet because I knew I was going to have to like get Brian on board there. And
that's my least favorite place to go.
It's so hard.
I hate doing my closet.
He was an SAE in college, and so there's like 36,000 t-shirts in my house. And I made it easy for him. I set them out. He came home from work and I was like, choose your favorites.
So he chose 34.
So we chose 34, but it was a big difference from 36,000 t-shirts. So, but start with those things that are going to give you the most confidence as you embark on the rest of everything else. And I totally agree with the kitchen.
You're not cleaning.
No. And don't.
But when you get that kitchen done,
oh, yeah.
you'll want to clean it.
You will.
Because you know how long it takes you? 5 minutes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's so true. And especially like with the kitchen, as you're going through it, you're going to feel like, oh, I need one of those cool soup rack things to put here. I should go and buy that. And then, oh, I'll quit this for now and go to the container store or wherever and buy the cool soup rack.
No,
you don't do that.
No.
So you don't, and I tell you this in the first chapter of the book or the intro or something, like don't spend $1 because, so there's a place in the book that gives you a list place where you can write down, I could use a box for something, like say I could use a box for, yeah.
There's places.
There's places like this, our camera's blown out, but there you go. There's places where you can write down like, okay, I need a box to put cleaning supplies, or I need a box to put whatever. And you write that down, and then as you're cleaning out the rest of your house, when you discover a random box, which you will, you can use it for that. Yeah. And so these great, awesome containers are cool in some areas, but you have a lot of things you can use. And by the way, shoe boxes are awesome.
I have a deep, our house is 25 years old. We built it. And there are some things that I absolutely love, and there's some things I absolutely hate. One of them is the pantry. It's deep.
Yeah.
So that was 25 years ago. I just bought my first 3 plastic containers at the container store when I went with her.
They're pretty.
And put the stuff in it because I would find things in the back that expired. And I like to use a lot of different things when I cook. So, yeah, I got that.
Our last house didn't have a pantry at all. It had cabinets, and it would like drove me nuts. And so once I cleaned out the pantry, like don't fit the organizational solution on top of the mess. Clean it out, like declutter it, don't clean it, declutter it. And then my dad came down and he was like, in these cabinets, what if you made the shelves where they pull out? And so that's what we did, so we could actually see the stuff in the back of like, it was a wall that was tall, and so we just made like these 3 cabinets or something.
They make all kinds of pull-out things, that you can put in there. But decluttering and organizing your house, depending on the condition it's in, is going to take a long time. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be so worth it in the end. Mm-hmm. If you start in the kitchen and you get that feeling of it's done, it's great. Mm-hmm. I love it. And then you got to get other people on board, which is a whole nother story.
It is.
But it works.
So we were talking about this last night because, excuse me, we were talking to Taylor, who we'll bring down in a minute, because my brother has his own ways about his feelings on organizing and simplifying, and Mom has her ways, and I have my ways, and Brian has his ways, and my dad. But with Brian, so let's tell him the laundry trick. We'll tell you the laundry trick in a second. That's like life-changing.
We have so many tricks, we're going to run out of time.
I know, right?
Stories. We got to put stories and tell tips.
Okay, we'll do that. So the laundry stuff, this my mom tells me that all the time. I'm right here, talk to me on one subject.
Put this away when you start decluttering.
That's true.
And working.
That's
Put
true.
this away. There's no help on here.
That's true. And make it fun for yourself too. Like turn on some music and like open the windows or something. Make it fun for yourself. So Brian, getting him on board with our everyday laundry trick that we'll tell you in a minute, was tough because he was used to doing it every Sunday and he folds the clothes, folding a mountain of laundry. So getting him on board was impossible because I would do it, fold it, and then set it out for him to put away. And guess what happened? it would slowly start to become a pile that looked like this because he just didn't have time to put it away or didn't want to put it away. So I think it was a conversation with you where we were saying, if you want to live your life a certain way and your spouse isn't getting on board, pick your battles.
That's it.
I didn't pick that battle, and I just said, I'll put your laundry away. So I put his laundry away. And the feeling of, it's all done and put away is much better than the feeling of, why won't you put your laundry away? So
you can't win some of them.
Teach an old dog new tricks sometimes.
Same way with your teenage kids. If you start when they're young, like Emily the other day had just a sheet of paper. She drew a box. She drew a.
Preface to the story is I was so overwhelmed. There was so much book stuff and so many things happening, and I was so overwhelmed. And Brian took Brady to soccer, and I said, I've got to clean up this house. So I made a list.
She made a list for the twins. They're 2.5. There was a box. There was
I drew a box. I drew a computer screen and like a happy face that meant living room.
A tutor.
they called the computer a tutor, and we thought it was really funny.
And she said, "This is what we're going to do," and she explained each one of them on one of the pictures, and then they went and did it. Those kids love to pick up things. They love to try to throw it, hit it in the box. They race each other. We time them on the phone.
They loved having a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they came in with their crayon and they crossed it off. And so the next night they said, Mama, we get another job? We make another list? I was like,
there's the beginning.
Yeah, of course you can have another job. Go put those shoes away.
But don't think you can tell them to clean up their room or, you're only picking up one thing. All you're doing is picking up the trucks.
Right.
You're not picking up the dolls and the trucks and the kitchen stuff. Focus them. Let's see how many trucks we can get in the box.
So every night I walk my house with a laundry basket, and it's like a deep laundry basket, and I just throw in all the things that are out of place from all over the house. It's a lot of stuff. And then we dump the laundry basket in the living room floor and we put things away. And my husband and I do that after the kids go to bed every single night. So that then we go our separate ways for a little while to like unwind, and it's done. Like the house is done. It's ready for the morning time.
5 minutes, maybe 10.
Yeah. 10 at my house, maybe 15 at my house. But yeah, once that's done, we're ready for the next day.
Let's go back to her laundry trick. We're getting
sorry.
Let's go back to the laundry. Right?
Focus.
Laundry trick.
Okay. I take no credit for this trick.
Emily does it her own way. I've taught her how to do it. I showed her what to do. But sometimes Emily's easily distracted.
A little bit.
So I've seen people saying, you put your whites in there, you put your towels in there, okay. She has little kids. The clothes are small.
Yeah.
So you take everything everybody wore that day, all the pajamas, all the clothes, the clothes they had to change out of, whatever. You throw those in, and people say, oh, but that wastes water. No, it doesn't.
So distracted. Jordan Brown says hi this year.
Jordan Brown?
Sorry.
Okay.
I got it.
He could tell you some things that I taught him. Where was I?
Laundry,
digress.
little clothes. You throw them all in.
Our washing machines have a speed dial on it.
Yep.
So it takes 29 minutes to wash them. They're not that dirty. It's a small load.
Saves water.
It does, because what are you doing all day Saturday? You're running that thing from morning till night.
Right.
You're also stuck there. The key to it is wash it, dry it,
and put it away.
Put it away.
You got to put it away.
If you don't put it away, well,
that's where it's easy to get stuck, and that's where I got stuck.
Hardest part. It is.
Especially my last house had a very, very, very small laundry room. It didn't have like a place to fold clothes or any of that stuff.
Mine didn't either, but we made one.
Oh yeah.
With a fold down from the wall. We have that graded thing. He just took some of that from Home Depot.
And a chain, and it folds down.
It folds down.
He made me one in my first house. Little tiny little first house. Yeah.
There's a way.
Or just do it on your kitchen table like I do.
But have it cleaned off before dinner.
Right. But have it do it and put it away. And the putting away is the trick, because otherwise it just piles up and piles up and piles up.
There's your clutter.
Right. But what's beautiful about doing it every single day is it's done on Sunday.
And there's not many to fold.
Not at all. It's just a little, and that's the whole point of all of this, is like every little thing you can do adds up to a deep breath to okay, this feels manageable. Things no longer feel like they're drowning me.
And I have to tell you something about this book. The way she wrote, I read it for the first time the other night. I'm going to start crying. And the way she writes it, it doesn't put guilt out there. It's just simple things that you can do. And your life's going to be so much easier.
I want to be a co-author on this book.
I think it was a little bit.
I know.
But it's going to be so much easier. So much. It's just invaluable to me.
That kind of, like, this kind of stuff, I know we're talking a lot about kids and like families at home, but we all have laundry. We all meal plan. And I think, you know.
Okay, we got to go back to the laundry trade because I'm not finished.
Sorry.
Okay, that's if you have little kids.
Yeah.
Right? If you have older kids and their clothes are bigger, you can still do that load, providing they bring them to you. Don't go get it for them or you're not teaching them a thing.
I make Brady bring me his.
If they have, you know, when they take their clothes off, don't let them stuff it in their room. Mm-hmm. You're not going to know what's dirty on that floor and what's clean. You're going to end up washing it all. Well, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So if they put it in your laundry room or wherever you decide that you want them to put it, that's what you wash for the day.
Yeah.
When they become teenagers and you think, oh, I have this great idea. I'm going to teach them to do their own laundry. And if their laundry doesn't get done, then they don't have any clean clothes. You know what happens? They go in, they need that one pair of jeans or that one shirt for tonight, and they run that washing machine and that dryer for that one thing.
Sorry, I probably did that.
Yes.
Yes. But that's so true. And yeah, like
if you want to teach them to do your laundry, you've got the washer and dryer is yours for this amount of time. Or it would be your Saturday to do it all, and they'd come in, oh, I gotta do my laundry now. I've got such a
Somebody just said, Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. I see you on here a lot. I recognize your name. Should I wish Nana would give us a basics list of what we should have in the kitchen? There are tons of lists like that in A Simplified Life that are like, here's the basics of what you need. And you've been helpful to me in that sense. Like, I don't cook a lot. I try to cook. I'm cooking more than I used to.
She's learning.
But Mom will come down and be like,
Now my son, on the other hand, that boy's a chef.
I don't understand. Like, the DNA passed me by. My whole family.
You were always doing something else.
This is true. I was building lemonade. I was building bookmarks.
Okay, we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about all these things that people want to save of their kids.
Okay, it's sentimental. Let's talk about sentimental clutter. I don't have my phone out anymore, but that was one of the things on there is.
Can you imagine what would happen if I was your mom and I came to you right now and I brought you tub after tub after tub of everything that you did in kindergarten? I was a kindergarten teacher. I was a first grade teacher. I was a fourth grade teacher, and I was a third grade teacher. I worked hard to get all those things home to you.
And out of your classroom.
And I made it really special, and I wanted you to display it and just be overwhelmed with what they were bringing home. But I was on the other end too. You know what I have of theirs? Very, very little. I have the letters they wrote.
Those were special.
That both of them were writers, and when they'd get mad or they'd be upset about something, or she was mad at her brother and she just couldn't deal with him anymore, and he was mad at her, and they'd write us a letter. It was great.
I have some of those.
Yeah, they were great.
You wrote us letters.
Yeah,
I still have.
Yeah. So I saved those.
Yeah.
You can't see the top of our Christmas tree right now. But,
I'll knock the camera off.
There is an angel made out of a paper plate. And there is a star.
There it is. There it is.
We'll take a picture and show you.
Yeah.
And there's a gold star with glitter all over it. That is, how old are you? 34?
21.
Okay. That is 32 years old. She made the angel. Brett made the star. It goes on our Christmas tree every single year.
Yeah.
The construction paper is all falling apart, but I wouldn't part with that for anything. What else do I have of yours?
We didn't keep a lot. And so I had this thing I was doing last year where I was saving all of the kids' artwork, and then I was taking pictures of it on my iPhone, and I was making a cute little chapbooks, and it took me about half a day to do all of that. And I was so proud of myself when I did it last year. And then that little book sat on my shelf. Chapbooks is amazing, by the way, but like it sat on my shelf and I didn't do anything.
So now she's going to give that to them when they're 34 years old, and they're going to be like, what am I supposed to do?
What do I do with this? So, and it was also just like another thing to do. And so now the rule for me is I keep anything that's like above and beyond super sentimental, handprints and feet prints and a picture of them or whatever. I'll keep that kind of stuff, but everything else it serves its purpose when it's brought into your home and handed to you, and you go, oh, I love it so
and
much.
You love it. You display it somewhere,
it
and you love it. And you take it down and throw it away when the next thing comes and that you love and you cherish and you want to display.
Yeah.
That way the kids are learning too that we can't keep all this clutter.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried at first to keep all those boxes, all those special things. And it was hard to get rid of it, when I finally made the decision, what am I supposed to do with this?
There's an emotional thing.
Toys,
yeah.
Same way with toys. All her dolls and Barbie dolls.
Oh, stuffed animals.
Yes.
So I have a thing with stuffed animals. I love to buy them for my kids because it's like a baby, it's somebody for them to love, and they're at this age, all three, where they love it. And so when I have to clean through, well, I've had to like curb my stuffed animal buying, but when I clean out the stuffed animals, it's so hard for me because I literally want to hold the fox and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm putting you in this bag and I'm making you leave our home.
But when she got married, when she moved out into her own home, and I said, here's your Barbie dolls. She didn't play with those very much, but she took the hair off of them. But anyway, that's another story. Here's your Barbie dolls. Here's your baby that you love forever, that you carried around by the tufts of hair.
Still have that.
And here's the other doll that she had. And she was like, what am I supposed to do with this?
And the Barbies were like, falling apart.
Something happens to them over the years. Because you're going to keep them up in the attic or up in the closet. Something happens to them, and you really don't want your kids playing with that stuff. Yeah. And they're not going to want it.
So the most special thing, like my baby, that's name was Baby.
It was Cabbage Patch Baby.
A tuft on the top of its head of hair, and I carried it around by that tuft. And Caroline has it now. So we saved the most special, important things, but didn't need to save all the Barbies or all the artwork.
And I have Christmas ornaments, that I bought over the years that are still on my tree. I tried to give it to each one of them a few years ago, and they're like, well,
we took some. I took a couple, but not as many.
They don't want them. So, love it while you have it, but then discard it or do something with it. They don't need to see you throwing it in the trash, maybe, but
I think it's such a good point because there's emotional connection with so much of our clutter. Like there's even going through your closet and you're like, oh, but this dress, I paid way too much money for it, and so I can't get rid of it, even though I don't like it because I paid a lot of money.
Right.
Forgive yourself for making that mistake and sell it or donate it or get rid of it.
It's going to make somebody else happy.
Super happy. And then there's like, oh, but these jeans are a size 4 and one day I'm going to be a size 4 again, and so I'm going to keep them. When you said this the other day, when you're a size 4 again, it's going to be out of style. You're going to want to wear it.
And when you're a size 4, you're going to be like, I'm not wearing that. I want new stuff. I look good.
Or by the way, you're good as you are, and you don't need to be a size 4, so put it away. There. And emotional attachment with okay, so we'll just lay it all out there. I had a very long time ex-boyfriend that I had lots of things from because we dated a long time, and I had all these pictures and frames and scrapbooks and things.
She tried to leave them here.
I did. I don't want this. Got rid of it all. It's emotional stuff. Like I was married at that point. What in the world does it matter to me now? So got rid of it. I think I kept like a prom picture or something that's like.
I still have them.
Do you? Get rid of those.
Think about.
It's so freeing.
You go to Disney World and you take 5,000 pictures of your kids with Mickey. Okay. You don't need 5,000 of them. You need to choose one that you love, and that's the one.
Yeah.
You don't need all the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to Disney World, don't use your phone to film everything. You're missing the experience.
That's mental clutter. That's true, though.
It is.
We so I was going through some stuff the other day. We took the kids to Disney World because we live right really close to it, and I found a button that said, Happy 6th birthday, Brady. And I was like, oh, we have to save this. It was Brady's 6th birthday. And my mom was visiting, and she was like, because what's he going to do with it? He's not going to wear it there. Is he going to put it in a box and enjoy it one day? No.
Is he going to remember going there when he was 6?
No, it served its purpose when they put it on him at his, trip to Disney World when he turned 6. And the purpose is fulfilled, moving on.
My parents passed away a few years ago. And my mom was the prima donna. She had all the silver and the dishes and the gold stuff, and they liked to entertain, and they had all this stuff. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with all this? This isn't, I have one particular bowl that I had to have. It came from a drugstore, I should get it and show it to
You
you.
should.
It's all broken up. The points on it are all broken up, but there's more special meaning in that crazy bowl.
Because she made
Then
banana
all-
salad in it.
That's a different story.
Bananas, mayonnaise, and nuts. It sounds terrible. Is there
Yeah.
anything else on it? That's
No.
it. Sounds terrible. But
Yeah.
we ate it. I saw somebody said, is there a section on photos and how you declutter those and what you print, etc.? So I did something last year that was, I actually need to do it again this year, but I love it so much. I used Artifact Uprising. Excuse me. So I take all of our family photos, iPhone photos, everything. I have them automatically upload into Dropbox that I can access anywhere. And then I categorize the folders with file names that are consistent. So it's like the year, the photographer, if it was a professional photo session, and then the title of whatever, the photos are. And then at the end of the year, I'll go through and select our favorites and put them in their own folder. And then that folder gets uploaded to Artifact Uprising. There's a ton of places you can do this at, but Artifact Uprising has these really nice linen photo albums. And I will have it like automatically upload the photos in there. And then I print a hardbound book, and it's our family yearbook. And I started doing it last year, so I had a lot of like backlogged years to do it. So it took me a while, but I did it. I actually made one for and we didn't have a wedding album. I just never bought one. So like I made a wedding album with it, and Brady's first year, and it's by year, and they're such high quality, and they're beautiful, and they're a little bit of an investment, but so awesome to have those photos off of my phone and out of my computer, and like in a place where they can live and be a legacy. So that's
like,
all in here too.
My mom had boxes and boxes of photos.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know who the people were. And then I look back at all the photos, for our kids. For me, when I was little, it was those reels, which nobody has those kind of projectors anymore. So
yeah. There are places that will take those and put them onto
and then for them it was
or something.
VHS. We had when Brett was born, that's when the camcorder came out. So we have all these, yeah. And then, what do you do with all that stuff?
Yeah, it's so true.
Let's talk about meal planning for a minute.
Yeah, do that.
Make sure we get to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my tip with you. And to me, I can meal plan it in, I guess I could say 20 minutes, but it's probably more like 10.
Takes me a good 40.
First of all, there's a few cookbooks that I love, and they're very different. I love the 100 Days of Real Food. I love Skinny Taste, and I love Pioneer Woman. So
hey, Ree. Hey. We want to be your friend.
Yeah. So, and I love to bake and, those kind of things. But if I have a cookbook, I go through and I pick out the things I think we would enjoy or that we would use for a special occasion, like Christmas week or something like that. And I just jot them down on a piece of paper. And then as I have those in my planner, and I do the same thing with the other cookbooks when I have time. If I don't have time, well, that cookbook isn't included right now. Mm-hmm. And so I try to do one beef meal, one Mexican meal is always included. We love seafood, and we have fantastic seafood here in Pensacola with this unbelievable, what do you call it? Joe Patty's. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, you can get any fish from anywhere. Mm-hmm. So we have that a couple of times a week. I love sheet pan meals where I don't have much to clean up afterwards. I've been doing them since she's been here.
Those are my favorite.
It's fish and some vegetables, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And it's aluminum foil or parchment paper to throw away, and that's it.
Easy peasy.
So beef, Mexican, breakfast. We try to have a breakfast meal. We do a veggie meal once a week. Nothing but vegetables. Mm-hmm.
You probably eat out once a week? Twice a week?
And once, not even. Right now, my husband just retired on
Friday. Pop retired.
That's right. So we don't go out a lot because I love to cook. Mm-hmm. So we save it for special occasions and go out to. I don't want to go to just any place to eat. If I'm going to go out to eat, I want to go to a nice place. So that's what we do. But I just choose from those. What was it? I had
a list.
Ideas.
Yeah, you have a list. She has a list and I do the same thing, that you go back to of your favorite easy meals, and you just kind of rotate them in. But when we were kids, you did it monthly. you had a monthly calendar.
Well, I had a month's worth. My
Yeah.
friends and I got together, and we all, you probably don't know this part, we all got together and we all brought 5 recipes together.
I've done this with my friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've done-
you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd have, parties or something, everybody bring a dish and everybody, and you brought a copy of your favorite easy
Recipe.
weeknight dinner.
Yeah.
You brought however many copies and you shared them. And so I had a list of 30 menus or, 30 dinners. And I just chose off of that. And then the shopping list was, you got to look and see clean out your refrigerator right before you go to the grocery store. That's the time to clean it out. And listen, I'm not giving the plastic food savers containers. How many of y'all eat leftovers? Raise your hand. You do not.
I
She does not.
I do. Sometimes.
I go in there and say, how long has this been in here? Oh, no. For the most part, there are a few things, I'll give that to you. Like I roast vegetables and I like to eat those.
I prep things on Sunday and keep them in my glass.
Right,
containers.
that's true. But how many containers do you need? 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Is the most. And they got to be clear because otherwise you don't know what's in there. So if you're saving the butter tubs and the this and that and you can't see, you think it's butter back there in the back and then you open it up. And so from when I was working, I would make a salad, just a basic, with all the vegetables because I like to chop up a lot of things in my salad. And then I would put it in a Ziploc bag, a big one. And then every night I would take out a handful of that salad and I would add different things like feta cheese or, make it an Italian salad, just whatever, and change that same salad up 5 days. If we had leftover salmon the night before, put that on the salad.
We like those Snapware containers.
Yes.
This is not sponsored.
It's gotta be clear. You gotta be able to see through it.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot of little ones.
You don't need round ones.
Round
things
is
are not your
friend.
That's right.
Squares, rectangles. You can fit, well, I shouldn't say that. You fit more in.
Right, this is true.
But it's easier to work.
But just a few is great. Like I have 4 Snapware. They're like square little things, and I fill them up every Sunday. And leftovers, so my mom puts a lot of leftovers or like salads and things in Ziploc bags, which I think is great because it's such a space saver. Yeah, and you can stack them flat. We've even done like freezer meals.
Yeah, and then
Ziploc bags.
They're flat. Like if you're gonna make spaghetti sauce or a meatloaf or whatever.
Yeah.
How long is it gonna take you to double the recipe? No different. It's still the same amount of time. So freeze some of that. And then put it in a Ziploc, do it flat, and then stand them up. They're like a file drawer, and they're
stand them up in your freezer.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right. I think we're ready for Lello. We call her Lello. I texted her, but I don't think she got it.
I'll get it.
You want to get her? Okay.
Wait, see if there's anything else we have to tell them.
Did we get everything? Oh, well,
Tradition.
We'll talk about that with
Okay.
Taylor.
All
Yeah.
right.
You want to grab her? You can just holler for her. Taylor's upstairs.
Taylor.
This is so fun. I see all of your questions. How do you keep the salad from wilting? It doesn't. It doesn't wilt. Like put it in a bag and suck the air out. It'll be just fine. I don't think she can hear us. Okay, so this is so fun. I'm so glad that my mom was able to join us. She was hard to get to do this, but see, she has so much to say and so much good information. Here she comes.
Yeah, I just walked by my kitchen. Let me tell you something. I have these long rectangular wooden containers on my kitchen cabinet, and that's where I store all my fresh vegetables and fruits, and then they don't go bad. And I see them every day, and I use them.
Oh yeah, where'd you get those?
Target.
This is Taylor. We call her Lello. Mom, come sit with us up here.
Yeah, come sit.
We can squeeze. Come on. There we go. See? We had to rearrange my mom's living room a little bit. So we're like facing the front door and see, we're good. There you go, display. There you go. Okay, so Taylor is married to my brother.
Opposite.
I mean, bless you for marrying my
That's
brother.
right. That's right. I told her.
Feel so loved.
I told her.
We hit the jackpot in the brother marries brother takes a wife, and he took a good one, and we love Taylor. And somehow he picked a girl
This is so fun.
who's a lot like his mom and loves to keep an organized home.
She
as
does.
well. She and her, like, I go over to her house and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I'm going to take notes from you. But the fun part, and I wanted Taylor to join us because, number one, she just has lots of fun ideas, and she's a 5th grade teacher. Yep, 5th grade
She's
teacher.
so organized there too.
Oh my goodness, I want to come see your classroom.
Yeah.
She teaches at STED Performing Arts School. And I thought it would be fun because we're all in different seasons. Brett and Taylor have been married for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Together for 14. Almost 14.
That's amazing.
I know. So when we say
Oh, we can
sister-in-law
tell that.
and mother-in-law,
I mean,
it
we
goes
grew up
deeper than
here.
that.
We basically all grew up together. Yeah, we've been through all the things together. I think Taylor bought some of my first stationery, and I was like printing it off my printer at home.
Oh, hi, Leslie.
So my mom, has 3 grandkids and 2 children, and is retired and married 40 years. And Taylor and Brett have been married 5 years together, 14, no children yet. And Brian and I have been married 100 years and have 35 kids. So
They were all here yesterday.
they're all upstairs. We could just keep doing this all day, and Pop would have to babysit the kids, and we could just hang out.
I mean, I just had to interrupt a hangman session with Brady, though. I don't know how he feels about
Was
it.
he sad about that? So I wrote down questions, but let's just start with, please hold. Okay, so Taylor,
Mhm.
we've introduced you. What weekly routine helps your week run the smoothest as a busy working wife?
Okay. Definitely on Sundays, figuring out what you're going to eat for the week. I hate
know this.
coming up with what to
Agreed.
eat every single day. So just do it
Stresses me
on
out.
one day.
Agreed.
Just on one day. Get it out of the way.
She does it on the
On a
chalkboard in our kitchen.
chalkboard. It's
Yes.
so cute.
So Brett and I come up with what we want to eat, and we go on Sunday and pick up everything we need. And if we have the time, we chop up all the vegetables ahead of time. That way, dinner is easy peasy. And then I write everything on a chalkboard, so he knows when he has to get the grill ready, and I know when, what I'm going to have for lunch the next day, and I'm just stay ahead of things that way if it's already planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Brett and I have a role where he cooks and I clean, so that works out very well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can Brett come to my house? I can clean. I'm a good cleaner.
Yeah, so routine would be just meal planning. I think that's the biggest headache.
It's literally every day I look at my kids and I'm like, you want to eat again? I just fed you.
Yeah.
And just because you said on Monday we're having tacos, you don't have to have tacos on Monday.
Yeah.
You've got 5 things. Use them whenever you want.
Mhm.
How many meals do you plan a week? 4, 5, 6, 7? Like dinners.
We do Sunday night through Thursday night. Friday is usually a toss up.
That's kind of us too. I plan about 4 to 5, and inevitably one of those gets bumped. And we do we will have grilled cheese, or we will have peanut butter and jelly.
Depends on the day. I mean,
yeah.
if you had a bad day,
That's
but
another, yeah.
you have a backup. And
Yeah.
you have things already in your fridge. You already
Right.
went and bought everything. So
One of those nights that I was telling you about, we do a soup, a salad, or what was it? Soup, salad, or what's the other thing?
Breadsticks.
No.
Just like Olive Garden.
No, we either make a soup, like when you're cleaning out your refrigerator and you got all those vegetables you bought, you're not sure what to do with them.
Yeah.
Make a soup.
Mm-hmm.
You've got soup, salad, and there was another thing, but I forgot what it was. So.
Sandwiches. Those are
That's
good.
it. That's
Oh,
it.
open
It
face
was
sandwiches in the oven. Those are good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I don't mean all of those. Choose one of those.
Right. Yeah. Dinner doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
Okay. Taylor and Mom, what is your greatest piece of advice for helping a household run efficiently? Well, we kind of just answered that, but
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
I'm going to add to that. Everyone has a role.
yeah,
So Brett knows what he's in charge of at home. I know what I'm in charge of.
not
so-
just with meal planning, but with
Yeah, so we know if the trash is overflowing, we're not playing the game of, I wonder if he saw that. Is he going to take that out, or just he has a role. He knows if it's overflowing, it's his job to take it out, and so that clears up any unquestioned area, or it just helps the house run smoothly when we all have a job.
Mhm.
Also, having your planner out on your counter with everything you're going to do that week or the monthly view
They're going to be on sale on Friday. Sorry.
For me, my planner stays with me because it connects school to home, but I have a calendar on the side of my fridge, and anything that comes up, reminders or birthdays or plans, it's all on that calendar. So he sees it every single day, and I see it, so we can plan on,
And on her chalkboard, she has, like, she goes to boot camp twice a week, and she'll have camp there. So he knows, oh yeah, she'll be gone that, because I don't know if you do it the same days every week, but everybody knows what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. Nobody should sit down until all the jobs
That was a
are
rule growing
finished.
up. Yeah.
Your husband, bless their hearts, they can't come home and sit down and say, oh, I've had a hard day.
Mm-hmm.
When you've been out working just as much and the kids are all hungry, everybody's got to help. And maybe it's just your husband. He can go outside and sit and the kids can run around or whatever.
Right.
Everybody's got to help, and everybody's got to continue to help until all the jobs are finished, whether there's 2 of you or 10 of you.
Right. That works in our house. And the role thing too, I think, is important. So financially, when Brian and I got married, he said, do you want to be like CEO or do you want to be secretary? And not in like a man versus woman way, but like, do you want to manage the retirement and the investments and those kinds of things, the day-to-day of that, or do you want to manage like the bills to pay and the budget and all that? And I was like, bills to pay and budget. It's my personality, like day-to-day, I can do that. And so that's what we do. And we're both involved in all the big, decision making, but he's the point person for the big picture stuff. And knowing that, like, it makes me feel confident knowing things are taken care of too.
And that goes along with having a role.
Right.
So we all know what we're in charge of, and then it just gets done at the end of the day because we do our job before we sleep.
My husband was in charge of that because most of the time you subtract. Subtract is negativity.
And I don't like
put that
in there.
If it's negative, then it's depressing, and I don't want to be depressed.
That was when she was talking about balancing a checkbook. And my dad was like, do you want to be the one to balance the checkbook? And she was like, no, because it's negative. You're just subtracting.
One time I added 500 when we first got married instead of subtracting $500.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to do it anymore. It was terrible.
I need some more. I'll just add some. Okay, so last question I have, and then I have a couple from people who are watching. As a family, so like all of us are part of the same family, we have lots of traditions, and we have things that are just special and sweet and easy, and they just make our family feel close and connected. And so I thought it'd be fun to just share what some of our favorite traditions are.
Sure.
Yeah, Lelo.
Okay.
We call her Lelo because she has Lelo hair. So,
Brady. Brady named that. Anytime that we celebrate anything big or small, when Emily comes in town or something great happens at work or whatever it may be, anytime we want to celebrate, we all go to our happy place, which is a restaurant in Pensacola Beach called Grand Marlin.
Grand Marlin. We love Grand Marlin.
It's just, every time we go, it's a great experience. And so we just...
the Grand Marlin College.
Okay, so spoiler alert. So Thanksgiving this year, I always host Thanksgiving for Brian's family at our house, but my dad was retiring, his birthday's tomorrow, and the book was coming out, and like all the things. And so we were like, how can we simplify Thanksgiving? So we made a reservation at our favorite restaurant, the Grand Marlin, and we're going there for Thanksgiving dinner, and our whole family's coming, and we're
the
so
first
excited.
time ever, and I'm so excited.
We're so excited because
No one has to clean up.
No,
we're simplifying
this
Thanksgiving.
year.
But we're all going to be together. We're all going to have turkey.
And that's what matters.
And
At
the
our happy
kids
place.
love to come to the Grand Marlin.
We love it. Okay, Mom, what's yours?
I have a couple. One of them is, and y'all,
Don't steal mine.
you're going to judge this. I already thought of this one. Too bad. I'm talking first. When the kids were little, before school, the first day of school, on the Sunday before the first day of school,
Oh, yeah.
you got to go to the store. We call it the little store, like
Little
Circle
store.
K.
Yeah.
And you got to pick out a candy bar. Not the giant candy bar, it's a regular sized candy bar. And you got to eat it for breakfast before the first day of school. Not on the first day of school, but before. But before the first day of school. So if school started on Monday, you ate it on Sunday for breakfast. It was the only time you got candy for breakfast. But
Yeah.
the other thing that we started new when the grandkids came along, is we do gingerbread houses. And
Contest.
We put all the names in the jar, and Brady draws out teams, and there's always 2 on a team. Everybody wants to be on Lilith's team.
Good gingerbread builder.
I love it.
If that teaching thing doesn't work out, you have a job as a gingerbread builder.
Right. And
Go
And we
vote
have
this December 25th.
We posted on Facebook.
House number 1.
this year she's getting Brian. No. I had Brian last year. No, we have Brian and Brady. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It's so fun. And
They put a lobster on top of the.
Brian and Brady made a gingerbread house with a lobster on top of it one time. It was amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite tradition is that on Christmas Eve, we all read the night before Christmas. And it's been a tradition that, like, when you move out, you get your own copy. And so we pass around the book the night before Christmas. And that sounds sweet and lovely and wonderful, unless
It's our
there's pop. And my dad likes to change the words of the pages and make them very funny. And so everyone just laughs the whole time. And we've done it since I was tiny.
But it's so sweet now, when the kids learn to read, and they would read their own page for the first time. And now Brady reads his page, and
now we're past all that.
Yeah.
And Pop-Up joins in, and we'll let you use your imagination.
Right. So I have a couple of questions. We're totally running over time, but I have a couple of questions from people who are watching. And one person has asked, I'm going to let Nana answer this one. Tips for organizing and purging things for a family who moves frequently.
that should be easy. You don't want to take all
Don't
that
take it with
stuff
you.
Don't take it with
you.
you. Use that opportunity to get rid of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like right now at Christmas, if you're not like us and already have it up because the grandkids were coming in, I had to.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're bringing down that Christmas stuff, you have to clear out some things in order to put that Christmas stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't leave all your stuff out and then put Christmas on top
And it's
of
just
it.
clutter.
So put the clutter, the everyday things back in the boxes and take them back to wherever you store your Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're doing it, say, do I really need this?
Right.
And if you don't, then put it somewhere. Have your bags ready, or your donate bags, your garbage bags, your the keep stuff you're gonna put away. And same thing with your Christmas decorations. Every year when I bring them down, I'm like, oh, we don't need this anymore. And go take it to a donation site. And right now, people can go and get new things.
That's awesome. Somebody asked which Pioneer Woman cookbook is your favorite.
I have all 3.
We have them all.
Have you seen her?
I have a signed one.
I do too.
Oh, you gave it to me.
Yeah.
That's right.
I didn't need her though.
So Whit on my team asked, I'm going to take this one. How do you handle mail? You go to your mailbox, you walk to your trash can outside, and you throw everything that doesn't need to be opened away, which is most of what I get in my mailbox. And then you take the rest inside and you immediately open it and you deal with it. For me, if I have like a bill to pay or like something, I'll take it and go put it on my keyboard in my office. And then the next time I'm at my desk, I'll deal with it. But
And I take it to my husband's desk.
Somebody asked me that, they're like, how do you organize mail? And I was like, what do you mean? You just throw it away.
All those catalogs, that's
Yeah.
mostly what you get in the mail.
And I
You
get
don't
home.
need those.
I get
You go
home
online.
before Brett, and so I grab the mail. If I let it sit there and for him to come in and go through and look at, it would still be there the next day. And I hate things on my counter, and he does like a pocket dump on the counter as soon as
There
he
you
walks
go.
in. Oh my gosh. So, yep, anything we don't need, I toss out. Anything important,
Keep those counters clean.
go put it in the office.
Yeah.
Keep that kitchen sink clean.
All right. I had one more quick question from someone. So Nana, what and how many toys do you keep when you have young people coming to visit or for grandbabies?
I don't have a lot of toys here. I have the things, when my kids were little, there were special things as they outgrew them, I put into my classroom. So there are Legos, waffle blocks, tangrams, Lincoln logs, those kind of building things that I save. They're up in the playroom. We have 2 bonus rooms upstairs, and one of them has been turned into a playroom. And so that's all I have here. Now, we didn't have a little girl for a while. Now we have a little girl, so I bought her a couple of little baby dolls from Target the other day. There's just 2 of them, and they come with a potty and a crib. And she's so cute when it's time to clean up. She goes and gets her bucket, And she puts all her baby doll things in there.
That's true.
So cute.
All right, I see lots of other questions, but we're over time, and we are about to go to Target and/or Barnes & Noble and
Ooh,
go find this
Woo,
book.
this way.
Thank you to you two for doing this, and for Mom for showing both of us
Don't
how
start.
it's done. Thank you guys for joining and for being so excited about this little part of my heart over here. And you can get it wherever books are sold. Today's release day, so go and find it. And
if y'all have some questions, that we can answer, maybe we can do.
you can post. They can post here on this, and we can hop back in and like type
Oh yeah.
a little bit later.
Or we could even just come back on. She's going to be here
There you
for
go.
a couple more, till the end of the
agreed
week.
to do another one. That's awesome. This is so fun.
It's so easy.
Isn't it? It's so
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
This has been so much. Doing this whole workshop has been the most fun. I have a surprise guest that's going to join me next Thursday. It's the 30th, and I'll tell you guys who that is later. It's going to be a short one, but we're going to talk about simplicity in motherhood and faith and all sorts of things. And I'm going to do an Instagram live today with Julie Solomon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Julie is my book publicist and also has a podcast, and she's a blogger, and she's just amazing. So
Can I give one more
We're-
piece of advice?
yeah.
Just one more.
yeah,
If you're a grandparent, don't. It's not your place to be Santa. Okay? That's hard because you want to give your grandkids, especially grandkids, everything in the world.
people are asking about this.
Everything in the world. And the hardest job being a grandparent is saying, I'm not going to get them that. I'm just going to get them one or two things. And don't give them things with a whole lot of pieces to it. If you do, keep those at your house for when they come over.
Grandma of the year over here.
And so if she ever tells you the story of the trampolines, I asked her before I bought 2 little trampolines for the grandkids to play on.
It's true.
She said,
I do
yes.
love it. That's awesome. My team is texting me and saying they can't wait for Nana's book deal. I can't either.
I'm not naming any names, but Dusty, I want to see that picture of that cabinet.
Oh my gosh, this has been so fun. Thank you guys. Maybe we'll hop back on here later this week, but we are off to Target and Barnes & Noble to go hunt down a pretty good
Declutter.
book. Go.
Something in a
do it.
garbage bag and just fill it all up.
Fill it up.
Something.
Bye guys.
Bye.